Welcome, everyone. This is Jordan, and I'm the worship pastor here at Trevecca Community Church, and we are so glad that you're here with us today as we hear God's Word. Each week, we stream the service live from the sanctuary just for you. So come along with us now as we grow together and hear what God has to say to us.
From Matthew chapter 5, verse 1. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain. And after he sat down, his disciples came to him. And he began to speak and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. Thank you, Emery. Well, good morning, church. It's a beautiful day, even if it's early, for us to be here to gather and worship. Hey, who among us is blessed today? We are like mildly blessed. I love that. Anyone a little bit more blessed? Yeah, we're a little bit blessed. Okay, so turn to somebody near you and in 3 words or less, tell them why you're blessed today. Three words. That's not much. I'm a wordy person, so you got to limit that. 3 words or less. Why are you blessed today? Blessed. I'm feeling that. Y'all are blessed. We are a particularly blessed people because we've got lots of really cute babies in our church now. We've got lots and lots of them. I got to see Aaron and Meredith's little boy this week, and he's so teeny. He's so precious. And Nana Debbie is particularly blessed because another grandbaby, right? Aaron and Meredith are more blessed by the middle of the night wake-up calls, right? Yeah? Maybe, are they even in here right now? Oh, so they stepped out, right. So they're blessed even right now. Andrea, Matt, you have a wedding shower today. Hashtag blessed. Yeah, you're going to get lots of things and be even more blessed. I love that. We are a blessed people. I grew up in Central Alabama, and I've lived in the South my whole life. And when I tell you that blessed is one of our primary vocabulary words, I'm not exaggerating. So I grew up with blessed hearts, blessed suppers, blessed sneezes. Our houses are also full of blessed. We are blessed in bold. We're blessed in cursive. I think that one's in Sarah Johnson's house, I think. We are blessed in, let's see, what's the next one? We're blessed beyond measure, so we're blessed in the kitchen. How else? We're grateful, thankful, blessed. I like that one because it showed up a lot. We are all those things. We are even simply blessed, but we are even more so, next one, blessed in the bathroom. Yeah, we're blessed across the board. May the bathroom also be blessed. We're blessed, y'all. God's blessings are abundant and gracious, and we have a lot to be thankful for. A few months ago, I was returning from a work trip to California, and my friend was driving me to the airport. We were unfortunately running quite late. In the back seat, my friend Lori's middle schooler Reagan and 2 of her friends were catching a ride to school on the way, and they were starting to get really antsy that they weren't going to make it in time for the beginning of the school party. They really wanted us to hurry. And I was not super good at hurrying that day because right before I left for this trip to California, I broke my foot. So I was not hurrying well. The plan was that Lori would jump out of the car when we got there, grab my fancy little scooter and my bags out of the trunk, and then I'd scoot off through the airport as soon as we reached the door. Then she could speed off to school and the kids would make it in time for the party. Just as Lori went to open her door, though, the driver behind us laid on her horn, letting us know that our hurry was not quite hurried enough. The driver rolled her window down and used some creative storytelling to tell us just how blessed my heart was, right? I was quite inconvenient that moment. Even with my friend's rather passionate defense of me, this lady was not backing down. As Lori jumped back into the car and waved goodbye, our rather heated new pal drove away ahead of her, her #blessed bumper sticker shining and making me laugh as I scooted inside. Thank goodness our grumpiness does not negate our blessedness, right? Last week, Pastor Isaac led us through a portion of the Sermon on the Mount later on in Matthew chapter 5. Today, we're going to reverse a little bit and get a closer look at what Jesus calls blessed at the beginning of chapter 5. This introduction to the Sermon on the Mount is called the Beatitudes, the declarations of blessedness. As Pastor Tim said a couple of weeks ago, these declarations outline the kind of people we, as the citizens of heaven, the citizens of the kingdom of heaven, would be. For many of us, the kingdom of heaven is not a new idea. We've prayed about this kingdom and sought for and celebrated signs of its arrival here in the world. Jesus announced over and over that the kingdom is here. But what did it mean? A translation that has been inspiring to me lately is to call it the kingdom of the skies, indicating that this kingdom is entirely beyond our grasp, but it's still surrounding us all the time. It's full of wonder and mystery, full of imagination. And even with its otherness from earth, it still envelops us. Jesus declares that this kingdom of the skies belongs to some pretty unlikely people. I imagine the crowd that gathered that day around Jesus pressed in close, shoulder to shoulder, to hear what this healer might say. This one, they had heard, was born of a virgin girl, and angels themselves heralded his birth. This one for whom the skies opened at his baptism, and a voice from above said, "This is my son, whom I love, and with whom I am well pleased." This one who preached about a kingdom of the skies and proclaimed that in this kingdom the sick are healed. This one who had taken away pain and seizures, who rebuked demons and made the paralyzed dance. I imagine that this crowd was buzzing with the excitement of the impossible being made possible. Could this be him? Is this the Messiah we've waited for? And Jesus stood among the crowd and said, "Blessed are the geniuses, the ones who get A+ on all Tim Gaines' exams. Blessed are those who celebrate endless success. Obviously, God's favor rests on you. Blessed are the powerful, the ones who really show might like God would. Blessed are the clever schemers, for they're going to be the winners in the end. Blessed are the ruthless. There's no other way to get what you deserve. Blessed are the good liars. No one's going to see through your disguises. Blessed are the instigators, the horn honkers, because it's just fun, honestly. It's fun. Blessed are those who line their righteousness up with whatever those in power would call righteous so that they don't have to be uncomfortable. Blessed are you when you can say with your whole voice that you are blessed, and while others, they just must not be. Obviously, Jesus did not say that. That is not what Jesus said. But wouldn't it seem more likely that the brilliantly smart, the easy living, the carefree, the successful, the powerful, the comfortable, wouldn't they be the ones experiencing blessedness? From the beginning of the story of God, we can trace this theme, this path of blessedness. God creates and then blesses the animals, proclaiming that they will be fruitful and multiply throughout God's good creation. God blesses humanity, giving the caretaking of creation into their hands. God blesses the Sabbath, establishing a rhythm of rest. This blessedness is about flourishing, growing, thriving, resting in the goodness of God. Abram and Sarai, later called Abraham, and Sarah, the father and mother of the people of God, are called blessed. God will make them into a great family, and through this family, generations will be blessed, showcasing the goodness of God. When the law is given to the people of God, God promises to bless the works of their hands as they walk in harmony with the covenant. The Psalms are rich in blessings, and the Proverbs and prophets after them. Blessedness is found in the flourishing of God's goodness. And shouldn't blessedness feel comfortable? After I had a good laugh at the hashtag blessed bumper sticker, I went into the airport, scooting my way through to a security line, which, let me tell you, was not comfy. It was not easy to find my way through the airport by myself on a scooter. I literally hopped through the security line as they checked out my scooter to make sure that it was fine for the airplane, and then strapped my backpack onto the handlebars and went to find my gate. And I heard it before I saw it. Many of you in this room who spend any time around kids know exactly what I'm talking about. The whiny, tear-filled, demanding, grouchy, heartbreaking voice of a tired, overstimulated, probably hungry child. Before I could even see her, I could hear in her voice how close she was to a meltdown. Over by the window, this little friend pulled with all her might to get her hand out of her dad's grip, but she wasn't getting anywhere. She fussed and cried and pulled, and the parent empathy in me felt so much for this guy as she began to slink her little body to the floor. And I watched him. I watched him as he knelt on the floor next to her. His knees on the hard tile, he held her as she cried. He did not yell at her for her attitude. Kudos, airport dad. He did not walk away. He didn't roll his eyes and look around at all the eyes looking at him and be like, "Kid's right." No, he bent to her. And he assured her of his steady presence. And they stayed like this on the dirty airport floor while she cried. As I studied the Beatitudes this last few weeks, I listened to a group of Jewish scholars discuss this path of blessedness through the story of God on their podcast. In their discussion, they pointed out that the word most often translated as blessing in Hebrew was also describing the word kneeling. To kneel, as King Solomon knelt at the dedication of the temple. To kneel, as Daniel knelt in his room to pray, even when he knew it was against the law. To kneel, as the psalmist invites us to do before the Lord our God. According to these scholars, blessing indicates a downward flow, something descending from highest to lowest, like a king bestowing riches, like favor from heaven, like a father kneeling on the airport floor, holding his daughter in his arms. Jesus began the inaugural address of the kingdom of the skies with these declarations of blessedness. I hope you'll imagine alongside me. When we hear Jesus say blessed, imagine that the God of creation is kneeling to you, like a father to comfort his child. This is Jesus embodying the good news that God's own self is with us. Imagine with me his kind eyes, his gentle smile, his steady reassurance. Not kneeling to us as if God is not the one to be knelt to, but embodying holy love as a father would. Jesus began to speak and taught them, saying for real this time, "Blessed are the poor in spirit." Those for whom this spirituality thing doesn't come easy. Those who doubt and those who struggle. Those who cry and fuss because their spirit feels too much or too little or too tight or not enough or barely anything. Blessed are you, you poor in spirit. Yours is the kingdom of the skies. Blessed are those who mourn, those who cry out at the oppression upon them in this world, those who pull and wriggle just to get your hands free, to slink to the ground in grief. Blessed are you, you mourners, for you will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, those without an ounce of power, those who have no control over where and why and for how long. Those whose privilege is long since gone or never showed up, whose unimportance is unmistakable. Blessed are you, you meek, for you will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, those who recognize that there's a deep desire in us that's not being met, that there's something missing in this world, and whose holy discontent will not give up on restoration and wholeness. Blessed are you, you unsatisfied, for you will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, those who exude compassion for all, even when the tile is hard and unforgiving under our knees. Those for whom empathy is anything but toxic. It's not a burden, but a gift in a world filled with us versus them. Blessed are you, you merciful, for you will receive the same in kind. Blessed are the pure in heart, those without an ulterior motive, who aren't interested in checking all the right boxes just because they're supposed to be checked. Those who tune in to the God-given now and hold it with wonder. Blessed are you, you pure in heart, for you will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, those standing in the gap between rage and rage, holding both unwavering grace and unwavering strength with equal fervor. Those who look in the faces of the hurting and find that shalom, abiding peace and wholeness is worthy of our pursuit. Blessed are you, you peacemakers, for you are called the children of God. And blessed are those who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, those holding tight to the goodness of God, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it costs everything. Blessed are you, you persecuted, for yours is the kingdom of the skies. And blessed are you. Blessed are you when people hate you. Blessed are you when people attack you. Blessed are you when people slander you. Because when they're doing it because you look so much like me, says Jesus, rejoice, be glad. You look so much like me. Your treasure cannot tarnish. It cannot fade. It cannot be stolen or beaten or malformed in any way because your treasure is me. This is true blessedness. This downward flow of the goodness of God, down and down and down from the kingdom of the skies, all the way down into our poverty and our grief, into our powerlessness and our hunger, as rain falls on a desperate land, as manna flows from heaven to a dearly loved, deeply hurt people of God. As a father kneels to his child, meeting her tear-filled gaze and extending arms of comfort. Blessedness is found in the flourishing of God's goodness. Here, now, with us, with them, in the deep hurt, in the day in, day out struggle, in the fear and the doubt, the slander, the attack, the tension, the waiting. When it feels like the sky is falling, but we have been given eyes to see that the kingdom of the skies is full of the blessed assurance of God's goodness. It's not comfortable. But what a joy that in the middle of our discomfort, God has knelt to us. God will not leave us on the airport floor. God is not giving up on us. God is kneeling to us to assure us of his steady presence. Friends, are we blessed today? Do we live as if the kingdom of the skies is falling upon us, God's own presence among us, even in our pain? The good news Jesus proclaims over us today is this, that God has knelt to look you in the eyes, to scoop you up into loving arms, and to comfort you in the midst of it all. God is with us, and we are blessed. As we prepare to come to the table, I wonder if you are needing the reminder of your blessedness today. I needed the reminder that I am called blessed. And even more than that, I needed the reminder that the people I don't want to call blessed are blessed. If you might find yourself desperate for the need of reassurance that God is here, like me, you need the presence and the goodness of God. When I teach our preschoolers or elementary school students, I often use the method called godly play, which is a Montessori method of teaching the scriptures to kids. I'll use little pieces of felt or rock or sand or wood to show the story of God. And we have lots of sweet liturgies in that room. One of them being that we will change the light. You see, the Christ candle here with us is a visual reminder that God is with us. God has knelt to be with us. And after we tell the story and we work and we share our work, we gather back into our circle and we change the light. It's not gone, just different. Reminding us that even when we cannot see it, the light of the world is blessing us. Even when we cannot see it, it goes with us, blessing us wherever we go. I wonder if you might need the reminder today that Jesus calls you blessed, even when you cannot see the light. The light of the world is with you, kneeling in front of you, holding you close. Maybe you could just use a moment to rest in the flourishing goodness of God, knowing that the blessing is indeed for us. We are blessed, church. Pastor Damon, will you lead us to the table? in Godly Play, we sit on the floor. And I sit with my face right at the same level as every child or adult, whosoever class, that joins me in a Godly Play circle. And I call, whoever the storyteller is, calls the kids by name to offer a blessing. And I wish that I could call each of your names today to offer you your blessing, but instead receive this one. The Lord bless you. The Lord keep you. May the Lord's face shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious to you. The Lord is turning his face towards you, and may you feel his peace. Go in his grace today. Amen.
Thanks for tuning in. Remember, you can join us in person in the sanctuary at 10:30 a.m. on Sunday mornings, live on YouTube or through our sermon podcast. If you'd like to give, you can do so at trevecca.church/give. Any other ministry resources can be found on our website. However you join us, however you choose to engage, know that you are loved. We're grateful for you.